If you're looking to do a lawn renovation, then what you need is the 5-in-1 soil tester, and I got this one from Amazon. Let's have a look at what it does. Okay then, straight out the box, let's have a look at what we've got. We've got the actual tester itself with a little cover on the business end down there. We've got a little instruction booklet and obviously the box. Now there's a lot of information on the box. It says here 5-in-1 soil tester, environmental illumination. I think that's the light conditions that we've got. Soil pH, I'll be very interested in that. The soil moisture content, again, that'll be interesting because it's been dry for weeks, and then we've had a sudden downpour and we've aerated to try and get some moisture down into the soil. So it'd be interesting to see how that works. Soil temperature value, obviously that's the temperature of the soil. I'm not quite sure how that will work. It's been baked dry, bone dry, and I mean, it's been scorching for the past few weeks. Great weather for sitting in the garden and barbecues, not so great for growing grass and looking after beautiful roses. And then the environmental hygrometer. Now, I think that's based on air humidity. So, you know, the higher water content in the air, the higher the humidity is. So I'll put the box to one side and I'll put this down on the floor for a second and I'll just flick through the instructions. Now, it's a bit, you know, broken English on the instructions, but you get the gist of it. The illumination measurement, they all base everything on the switch on the back. So I've put the batteries in already that came with it. There's a switch on the back that switches between pH and C, which is the pH of the soil, and Celsius. The instrument there does two things, so you just switch between it on top. This bit here, the purple bit on the top, is the light sensor. So if you put it in the ground and it's saying it's bright and sunny, you put your hand underneath, over the top so you can see the display, and it'll say that it's not bright and sunny, so be aware of that. To turn it on, you hold down the on button and it should come on, and it does, and we're in pH and it's reading neutral because the boot's on and it's in free space. And then you change it between Celsius, oh sorry, put it into Celsius at the back, and that's given us the temperature range now. It says about 24 degrees at the moment, which is probably about right. Oh, 23 degrees and dry, because obviously it's dry on there. It's in its protective boot. And you can click this button here between Celsius and Fahrenheit to change it from one to the other, depending whereabouts in the world you are or what units you work in. Now, the only thing they don't tell you in the instruction book is how to turn it off. And I found that out by holding down the Celsius stroke Fahrenheit button for a few seconds, and off it goes. So that's that one sorted. Now, I'm going to put it into the soil. We'll get a close-up and you can see exactly how it's going to be read. So we'll put it on Celsius to start with. I'll turn it on. I'll remove the boot, and then with a bit of luck we'll push it into the soil. I'll push it in next to my weeds, so we know that we're going to have a lawn renovation, so you can see there's weeds in here. And then when we're testing this in a few weeks time, fingers crossed, there'll be no weeds. It'll be lovely grass if the conditions are right. Let's have a look at what it's reading. Okay then, we've popped this into the soil and left it in there for a few moments. We're looking now at the temperature, 19 degrees for the soil. I thought it might have been a little bit cooler than that. Now, I know it's been baked and baked for days, but we had some rain and the rain was very, very cold. And I aerated the lawn to allow the rain to get down and to a bit of depth, I was hoping. But it's still 19 degrees in there. Now, the rain has gone down, the aeration worked, because when we look at the bottom, it is wet. Plus, now we look on their scale, it says that's wet. I'm pretty sure we know that wet plus is wet ground, don't we? And dry will be dry, and normal will be normal, and there's dry plus and whatever else on there. So we've got a good idea. We know it's wet, we can feel it's wet, we can see it's wet, and there's some moisture low down, which is great for us. At the top, the light sensor, this is here. See, I've covered that over and it says low. I'll let it go and it'll go back to normal. Now, I presume that will be normal. That's reading correctly, because at the moment it is June and the sun is, well, the sun's not shining. It's light today, but we're a bit overcast at the moment. When the sun comes out, I'm sure that will go to high or high plus. Now, the temperature, it says like 19 degrees C, but next to it here, we've got the 50%. Now, I don't know 100% what that means, whether it's 50% humidity or not. Oh, if you click the button again to move it from Celsius back to Fahrenheit or Fahrenheit to Celsius, the screen lights up again, look, so you can see it a little easier. Now, it says 50%. I'm presuming that's humidity at 50%. I'm not 100% sure whether that's the is correct or not, but we've got it, well, it's gone to 51% now. I'll probably say it is because it's quite humid. It does feel quite humid at the moment. It's not dry. It's been dry for days, and now there is some moisture in the air, so that's probably about where it is. Now, I'll just turn this round, and you can see on the back, we've got the little button here, and click it from Celsius to pH, and I'll turn it back round. Hopefully we're in the right place again. Now, for growing grass, I'm looking at about 6.5 pH to 7 pH, 7 pH being neutral. And you're coming down the scale, it's acidic, and look at my soil, it's very acidic. It's 4.1, that's what it's gone down, 4 it's gone down to, goodness me. That's so acidic, I'm not quite sure what we're into there, whether there's something contaminating the soil under this little bit or not. But it's reading at 4% gone to low now, whatever low means, I'm not sure. Push it in again, 5.2, 5.1, 5, 4.8, it's just dropping, look, it's so acidic, the soil's so acidic, either that's broken, I'll clean it off. And I'll put it in again, slightly different place. Either that's broken or my soil is so acidic that I need to do something to sort it out. So there you go. Let's have a look at it then in conclusion. Right then, there we go. It works pretty well, I think, doesn't it? And it's quite accurate. And you know what? I tested my lawn all over, and it was still very acidic. Wherever I went, it was acidic. I'm not sure whether that's down to me putting a lot of water on there and then sort of aerating it all, and then we have a heavy downpour, and that being in there, that could lower the pH. That could work, or it might just be that the soil's in poor condition. We do a lot of testing on this lawn and on this grass, and we do give it a bit of a battering, and we are due a renovation at the moment. We've got weeds and stuff in here, so when we come to that renovation, we can address the pH balance, can't we? But that's what this bit of kit's for, you know. You're planting roses, lawn, whatever it is, you want to find out what the soil's like, you need one of these. You can test it, and you've got the information close to hand. Anything you're unsure of, you can Google it and you'll get all the answers. So there you go. As I said before, the latest price for this will be in the description. Just click on the link there and it'll take you straight to it. I think it's a good bit of kit. I've paid around £20 for it, and it's going to be interesting for me to take it out across my different sites where I work and see what the soil conditions are like there. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found it enjoyable and even informative. Anything nice to say, pop it in the comments section below. Give me the thumbs up and subscribe as well if you can. I really do appreciate that. Thanks for watching. I'm Jimmy the Mower. I'll catch you on the next one.